Okay, so I thought it'd be fun just to create um, something kind of live, but not really live because obviously I'm recording this video. But I have my mic on, you can see on this channel 3, and I'm just gonna work, create, and then when it's something I think I need to tell you or talk about, then I'll talk about it. But if not, if you don't hear me for a second, then just pay attention to the screen. Obviously, you'll see me what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to use the mouse with this, um, but sometimes I'll need to use my hand. So just try to follow the best you can, so that you can get a sense of it. So I'm gonna mute the mic. I'll just do it down here where this mouse is. That way I can just work and not, you don't have to hear me breathing or something in the mic. That'd be kind of weird. All right, here we go. So just so you know where we're at, um, sometimes you make a loop, and because I don't have the count on clicking or anything, I don't know if I'm doing 2 bars, whatever. You saw pretty much how I did that. I just stretched it to 2 bars and then adjust it. And if you can see right here, this is sitting almost where it needs to be, but because I'm using humanization on it, it's going to be a little off, which is what I want to give it more of a natural sound. But I'm still stretching it just on purpose, just to see where it would loop at. So now I know it's going to loop. See, it just looped fine. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that in case you were wondering what I was doing there. That's exactly what I was doing. All right. So again, here I'm using one shot to get some drums, just sampling in the drums from there. I don't think these drums are the greatest drums I've ever heard, but they're definitely solid for most like natural sounding drums. They're pretty good. They work out pretty good. Got them all one shot. Put the hats on their own, even the open on its own on choke group 1, and then on choke group 2. I put the snares, particularly worried about this roll here being able to, be choked by another snare. Right, so whatever I'm gonna make, at least I know that. So this is kind of like all the setup until you get to where you're actually doing the music. And you can see I'm putting most of these drum samples. I usually don't use this many samples. I mean, as far as drum samples, at least. But depending on what I come up with, at least they're there. They're ready to go if I decide I want to use that. And this is, since we're on this note, one way you could make yourself a template. If you tend to use the same type of drums most of the time, then just make yourself a template in iOS, call it template. And then what you could do, I think if I go in here, I go save as template. Okay. And then it's in Koala. Could do songs. Move it into Koala songs. And then you could, every time you could go load. Of course, you'd have to make sure your template is at the top. These are in some order. I just don't know what the order is. You could do it by date. There you go. So now template's at the top. So what you could do is make yourself a duplicate copy. So you could just hit right here. I'm not going to do it, but duplicate and then rename it something else. And then you would always have the same drums. If that's your choice. I really don't do that, to be honest with you. I just start over every time. It helps kind of build muscle memory and get your creative juices flowing, because you may want to just try something totally different. And I'm typically not starting with drums anyway. I'm just doing it for this day because that's what I felt like doing. So, all right, enough of me talking. I'm gonna get back to trying to make some music, and then I'll stop between parts and let you know what I'm doing. Okay, so just took some piano sample from the radio, radio AU. If you've never seen that before, Beep Street, the same people that make Drumbo make that. One sip while I take a. One sip, I'm sorry. 1 second while I take a sip is what I meant to say. I'm going to lower my desk a little bit. So if you hear something moving in the back, it's not a plane, it's not a bird, it's just a desk. All right, cool. So I can sit for a little bit because I've been standing the whole time, unfortunately. Let's see. Actually, that was fortunately, that was good. All right, so I made all these little 1 bars to put together parts. Some of it's the same parts. And I did it with the beat on. That way I could hear it kind of go as I was making it. And then now I'm going to go ahead and play it together. I'm going to take this, even though this is something totally different. And I'm going to just use this. Watch, you'll see. I'm going to go ahead and chop this just to that one piece I want. And there we go. And then I'm going to reverse it. And then it will become like that. Just kind of an intro piece to get into there. So I should probably stretch it just so that the timing is the same. Sounds good enough for me. All right, so I'll put this on its own little thing for right now. Actually, I need to make this 2 bars. Where were we? Yeah, there we go. All right, I think that's it for that part. I wish we could label up here. That would be kind of nice to know that's the intro. But whatever. Just something simple to get into. All right, I'm gonna mute for a second and start working, and then you'll just pay attention to the screen. Okay, so the goal was to put them all on the same bus channel, add some type of effect to them. This thing is moving. Let's see if we can drop it down just a little bit. I just wanted to try the chorus out on some samples, put a little low pass on the filter. On the samples. And then I use 14.7 because that's what the P6 has, the Roland P6. One moment, take a sip of that. And then change the bit depth to 16, which is fine. I could do 12, but I was trying to keep it. Let's try 12. I'll just leave it at 16. I'm fine with that. If you run an AUM, you got to use their stuff, right? All right, so this is, so if I was going to start creating the song, maybe with this, then I would add it to the end, and there's the start of the song. Of course, you could always just do, to test this before you start doing this, you could start it here. Oops, I have to set that up. Hold on one second. Sequence to the end. All right, now start it. Now we could go back in and start doing some maybe throw in something else on the drums so it doesn't get so boring. I think the roll is up here. Yes, on that one. Just put it right there. Maybe turn the velocity down a little bit. Try that. Maybe even lower. 20%. I wonder if I should put that over here, maybe, and just stretch it out like that. See if that'll. I mean, I kind of want it present, but not present. Okay, I like that a little bit better. I'm gonna turn it up though. Maybe 40%. So we're just tinkering around now, coming up with stuff. I'm gonna put some hats in here so we can get rid of that metronome. It's driving me crazy. There we go. I like that better. All right, so let's see. Sometimes just to mix it up a little bit, you might choose maybe on just, let's see, let's go here and here. We'll just use, I keep forgetting that I have to sync it up here. Oops. I'm so used to working in Koala and standalone, so I have to fight the urge to just do it here. Okay, so we'll leave that. I don't really care for that snare on that part. Okay, that's the intro part coming in. Cool. All right. So now we just need to put some hats in here and then some bass. So depending on, let's see how I want it. I'm going to literally turn that metronome off. I don't want to hear it because it's driving me crazy. And we already got shakers going on, right? So that one needs to be right there. Turn it down a little bit. All right. I'm gonna mute the mic for a minute. So nudge the hats off a little bit. I think the drums are okay. It's not exactly where I want them to be, but they're not terrible either. You could route these drums too. I didn't even think, I was thinking about that. Just hold this down, even this. So if, let's say you want all these drums to be on a mixed channel outside of the mixer inside of here, you could do that. Send them through and then bring them back into here if you wanted to. I'm not gonna do that actually, just because it requires some extra steps that I'm not willing to go through right now. Let me do this here. Take these off. I'm not sure why it won't just click off. That part I'm still not getting. Like, just click off. See how it's still blinking and I'm not even holding it? I think that might be some type of bug. I don't get that. And when I click off it, I don't understand that. That might be a little bug there. But anyway, so I'm just gonna use this in here. I'll use the D bus and bring in free verb, and I'm just gonna lower it really, because we're just using it to complement the drums, give them a little air. If you really want to push them, you can put some drive in there. So we got pretty much the drums and a sample, some piano samples and some perks. I'm actually gonna turn, let's see, 1 second. I'm gonna turn this perk down a little bit. I think it's too loud. Six is too low. I'm gonna go to about 3 dB, negative 3 dB. It's still there, you can see it's present, but it's not overbearing. And now for bass, the hardest part on iOS always. This is why I usually just record in a bass. If you can learn the bass, I'd always say grab yourself a bass, which is where I want to get back to eventually, but just don't want to invest in the time of buying an instrument right now. The strings, the setups, the whole night, even though I know how to do my own strings myself, and the setups cost you a little bit of money and just the time to put it all together. There is one bass that I'm eyeing. It's not expensive either, because I was looking at some more expensive ones, but I don't want to spend that kind of money on one instrument, you know? So anyway, going back to what I was going to say. So let's put some chords or something in here. I'm going to pull another mix bus here. Since I'm on this iPad and I have the space for more on the iPhone, I just use one. I don't even use all this. I would just have one, put the instrument here, Koala here, and just work, right? It's much easier, less hassle. And most of the time I don't save the project in AUM anyway. I'm just using AUM as a mixer to get the sound into Koala. So that's it. The only bass I personally recommend on iOS, if you're looking for something with authentic, I'm not even gonna say authentic, I'm gonna say closer to authentic sound of a bass, is I fretless. And in I fretless, you have different basses that you can use. The Studio Jazz is okay. It's pretty good. I think the acoustic upright Sounds pretty decent for that, for what it is. You want the finger style? It's not too bad. I don't know why they have to have an aggressive finger style. They could have just did a regular finger style, but whatever. Studio Jazz. It's going to give you a little more bite. Vintage growl is definitely going to give you more bite. And, of course, fingerstyle growl is going to give you a little more. The one thing they don't have in here that would have been cool would be a muted bass, which is probably what I use the most. But we'll try this jazz bass out. And this one you need to play on this on here. Trying to play it with this, you don't get the vibrato of the string. Maybe if they had a that's what they could add down here, a pitch wheel and a modulation wheel where you can modulate the notes. You probably I don't know, you might be able to do it. Let's just test it. So sometimes it works for me and sometimes I just don't dig it, right? Today I just don't dig it. I'm going to use a separate, not for one note. All right, so we're going to grab, I usually use the import file section here and then just click browse, go back, and then my chill hop section, I have this bass. I'm going to grab the jazzy bass, that'll work. You might say, why I didn't use this jazz. It sounds okay. And it could work, but I'm going to use something simple and we'll get rid of this channel actually. Just keep it simple. All right, so bass is there. We're going to get that, put it back on keyboard. And I like to see the real keyboard. I'm actually going to, since I can use that, that's my fingers and touching that. I'm going to turn on my keyboard and just use my keyboard into here. So sorry about that extra noise. There we go. So I'm plugging in the keyboard here. I'm gonna move this. All that noise is just my fingers touching the outside of the iPad. And we should be able to, if you go here, click here. I'm gonna use my mouse so I don't keep touching the iPad. There you go, and then press MIDI. Now I can, we don't have anything, I mean, like, I wish Koala, we could add in the modulation and the pitch wheel. That would be, but there is workarounds if you want to know. Let me show you a workaround. Well, it's not a workaround. It's something you'd have to buy, but whatever. There's a few out there. The one I like the most is this one, Sequence Keys. Sequence Keys has the pitch and the mod right here. Plus you can do doubles. So if you want to have more notes, that's kind of nice. And if I'm not mistaken, it works on the iPad too. I mean, on the iPhone too, so it'll be all right. This one is nice for that, but again, I don't think Koala has the modulation stuff in it. So it probably won't work anyway, because I'm doing it with a keyboard and it's still not working. So we'll just play some notes and see what we come up with. I keep wanting to hit play on the keyboard here, but it is not mapped. So what I'm doing is trying to find what notes. Now that's the one thing about sampling is you have to listen. It makes you listen a lot better. Whereas when I know what I played in, I can just follow that. But one way to find out, and I've shown you guys this before, I'll just show you again, why not? Is you can take this right here, export, and just go current sequence. It can be mixed. I don't care what it's named because I'm going right here. Chord AI. Just import it into Chord AI. Give it a second here to figure out. And see, it analyzes what it thinks the chords are. But the key for me here is knowing that it's in E flat. All right, so take that information in our mind, right? We can open up tonality, and you'll see me use it as a slide over because it gives me all the functions, right? It's for scales. So what was it, E flat? And I believe it was just E flat. I don't think it was E flat minor. So there's your notes, and now you know what's playing. It's funny because I was playing and that's one of the notes in the scale. So I heard that note. Okay, got it. So see, I'm just learning it right here. Learn this, and then you're good. Then if you just want to slide it over out of the way, you can get back to playing. So that's what I'm gonna do. So give me a second while I just try to work out something that I think sounds deep. Sounds decent, okay? Okay, so I was off on some notes. I just slightly adjusted those. And I'm adjusting with Freon because I don't need them to be perfect. I need them to just work. There we go. So that's okay for a baseline. It is what it is. Of course, I could probably work on it and get better. Play a couple more times. I usually don't record too many things like this live just because um, I prefer to play it a million times, but I don't want to put you guys through watching. You already been watching this video a long time. Um, and usually I would do this on a live instead of just a recording. But anyway, you get the point. So that's a little simple song. And usually I would probably play those keys too. I wouldn't try to use samples like that, but it was fun. It gave me something different to do and try out. We could add in perhaps even a drone or something to this, just or something in the texture of the background to give it um, a little more depth, a little more spice, a little more something. But we'll try that on another video. Well, that's it for this video. Just wanted to show you a workflow, and hope all is well with everyone. Until the next one, I'm out.